Hello, hello, hello. What is going on, mi gente? Happy Tuesday. It is Tuesday, September 24th. Man, you guys, can you believe it? Literally 100 days to the new year. I mean, let's freaking go. I swear I heard it the other day. Someone posted it. Today. They were like, "Dee, nee, nee." I'm telling you, they already trying to break the ice on the Mariah Carey song. It is going to be the end of the year before you know it. So welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad that you are here with me on the Speak Easy with Idylli show. I'm glad that you come every Tuesday. I'm humbled. I'm so grateful that you guys come on here every Tuesday. You gain value, you share, you give me DMs, the comments, just the love that you give every single guest that comes on is truly, truly appreciated. We know that you can spend your time anywhere, but you spend it here because you know what time it is. And I'm super excited. I really don't have any big announcements, mi gente. We're going into the end of the year. At this point, I'm working with clients, I'm working with myself, and rebranding and changing things and just getting ready for January. If you're setting goals in December, you're behind. First of all, we ain't January people, so I don't even need to bring that up because we're not January goal people, right? But if you're doing it in December, you're still behind. Even November, the time is now. We're in the last quarter of the year. We're about to hit 90 days left. Like, this is game time, right? This is definitely, definitely game time. So it is time to bring your A game and really, really get ready for these next 100 days. I'm so excited. Let's freaking go. I have a special guest here today. And before I bring him on, I want to share this because it's crazy. When we met at an event, his information, his stamina, everything that he was talking about was such a big deal. And I'm looking around because I know I just put this up, and I'm gonna be like, wait a minute, I can't find it. But I put this up here because right after the event, we met, and this was the first thing he said. F your feelings, right? Be right, your feelings. I care about your future. And at first, it leaves you puzzled, like, bro, what you mean you don't care about my feelings, right? Like, hello, my feelings matter. But when you put that aside and the message that he delivers is clear and the deliverance is just real, right? When you put that aside and you really start to understand what he's really talking about, his message is truly, truly next level. And so I'm super grateful and honored that he, said yes to coming on here on the show and sharing his story with you guys. So y'all give it up for Danny Torres. Oh, you're muted.
Okay.
Not yet. There you go. Hey,
What's
what's up, Danny?
happening?
How you doing?
Blessed. Every day above ground is a great day.
Amen to that. That's the first nugget you could write down right there, because you could hang up right now and have a rest of the day nugget and
Oh,
the
I'm gonna
rest.
drop gems. I'm gonna drop some gems. Listen, I'm here to serve your community. Let's get it.
Amen. Let's go. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you coming on and taking your time, to be on here with us. So we're gonna start fast and we're gonna start fresh. We're gonna start from the beginning, right? So tell us, what is little Danny T look like? Like, what is your story? What is your life?
He said, "Little Danny T."
Little Danny T running around. How was that?
Oh,
Growing
loco.
up.
That's what he was. He was a
With,
nut.
talk to me.
You know what, man? I had humble beginnings. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got a rags to riches story. You know what I'm saying? I lived in a couple different places or whatnot, but I grew up in Newark, New Jersey, Belleville, New Jersey, Irvington, New Jersey, like in that vicinity, right? Those that know the area, they know the area. You know what I'm saying? Um, and yeah, I just came up a knucklehead, man. I fought a lot. I
Mm,
had a lot of anger. You know what I'm saying? Shit that I went through. Me and my old man right now we're best friends, but back in the day he used to whip my ass. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, right?
mm,
But I just had a lot of anger in me, so I was always fighting. You know what I'm saying? I was fighting and I was hustling. I started hustling at a really young age, and then I started pit fighting. I was pit like literally, yo, give me $20, give me $50. Like, all right, I'll go fight this dude. Like, I just didn't care. I was a wild
mm,
boy. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
Fast forward, got out of high school. I was the only one. Actually, I was the only one to not supposedly, graduate high school or be locked up or be killed or whatever the fuck, right? And I was the only one actually to make it out. You know what I'm saying?
mm.
And
Now, do you have
with
brothers and sisters?
yes, I've had so my two older brothers passed away when I was younger, and I have two
Mm,
younger sisters, and we're 7, 8 years apart. What's interesting is that we ain't had no bread when we was coming up. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
like I I took almost a whole year in school. I lost school. I think it was like kindergarten, first grade. I don't remember. But I stood home to watch them. So I had to be an
Mm,
adult really, really early. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember a time my baby sisters, because they're only 1 year apart, and
right.
I remember a time where they was both crying on the bed. I think I was like 7 years old, man. And and I didn't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, so I started jumping and bouncing on the bed as a little kid. You know what I mean? Ain't
Mm,
nobody around. It's just us. So and then
right.
they stopped crying. So I just started bouncing on that bed for a while. Like I was getting tired and shit. But I remember them times. You know what I mean? Like that's what makes you.
Mm.
That's what makes you. You
And
know.
it really does. I mean, if you put that, if you were to fast forward just that decision alone, like that decision to see the change, okay, this worked. Okay, I put this in place, this worked. Now I'm gonna run with it,
Yeah.
right? So,
Yeah. Life
like,
is about pivoting. You know what I'm saying?
yes.
About pivoting, about making decisions, and about having ideas.
And
You know
for
what I'm
you to learn
saying?
that
And just
lesson
run
at
with it.
7, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You know.
And so you had your baby sisters.
Yeah.
How
So
was
we had.
that? Like, you always felt like
Um.
you were protecting them?
You know what? I learned my lesson. God gave me two daughters first because He was like, Dom, He was like, you. I was too protective of my sisters. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? I was too like dudes could they everybody knew who I was, you know what I'm saying? So when they by the time they got into school, they was like, oh shit, you who's like, oh no 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 no. You know what
nah,
I mean? Like I
daddy
was
sisters? Nah,
so
nah, nah.
yeah, like it was just that's just how I was. I was like, nah, y'all not
Right,
nobody was good enough for them to me. You
right,
know what I'm
right.
saying? But I was what I regret is this. And for everybody that's listening to this, if you have daughters and if you have sisters and whoever it is, right? Like don't be too overprotective.
Mm,
There's a line, there's a thin line, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because my sisters were scared of me. And when I say scared, I don't mean scared like beating up whatever. I mean scared as in like there was not many times where they can come at me and say, "Yo, big bro, like I got an issue. Can you help me?" You know what I
mm,
mean? Because
yes,
I put such a like protective and I was just
right.
mean
They didn't
and
want to disappoint you. They were scared of what you were gonna
yeah,
say.
you know what I'm saying?
Like,
So like
yeah, so it
I
wasn't that
fucked that up.
confianza.
I'm
Mhm.
sorry. Can I curse on this? Can I just
Yeah,
be
yeah,
me?
yeah. You're
All right,
good.
cool.
Be
Yeah, so
you.
I messed that up. And let me tell you, fast forward with my daughters now. I got an 18-year-old queen, 11-year-old queen, and the difference is this. Now I'm not like that. And what I do is I put a hat on, right? I go like this, and I'm like, all right, if you got an issue, you got a problem, whatever is going on. And I actually taught myself this because I used to coach my daughter's softball teams for many years, right? And I taught myself this working with all these girls. I was like, yo, if y'all ever got an issue, y'all want to talk to me, right? Tell me to put the hat on. You want me to be your father? You want me to be your friend? You want me to be a
Mm,
stranger? You want me to be a teacher? You want me to be whoever it is you want me to be? I'll put that hat on and I'll try to answer and reply as such. You know what I'm saying? So
yes.
like that allowed me to gain the trust in my daughters to be like, yo, Pa, I got a problem. I got an issue. I got this. Like, all right, could you come talk to me about anything? Like, let's get it. You know what I mean? So like it
Mm.
definitely taught me a lot. It definitely taught me a lot.
No, no, it does. And that's really good. Like I wish I would have adapted that before. I recently I have a teenage daughter too. She's a senior. And I just had to, she's different than me. And I'm like, God, I don't know what you was doing, but I can't approach her the way that I would approach me or the way that I am with myself. And I had to say that I had to do the same thing. Like, okay, how do you need me right now? You need me to just listen? You need me to like give you advice? You need me to be mom?
Yes.
Like, what do you need from me now? I had to just throw my hands and say that because it's just so I wanted to have that communication. So it's really important to understand wearing the hat. Not too long ago we had a Father's Day special, and in that Father's Day, that's what he said. The same thing. He's like, a part of being a great dad that I've learned, he had to learn the same thing was, how do you want me to show up as a dad?
Yes, yes, yes,
How do
yes,
you want me
yes.
to show up
Because you
as
want
a
to be that role model. You know what I'm saying? Because
yes.
like in our minds, we have to be as a parent. We got to be everything and anything to our kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if we're not, then what happens? They start to look up to the drug dealers. They start to look up to everybody else.
Yeah.
That's not. And now it's social media. When we was coming up, there was no social media like that, right?
It's
But now
fresh.
social media is even worse. So they look up to other people. Like, nah,
Yes.
fuck that, man. I'm your role model. I'm your
Right.
superhero.
Yo,
You know what I'm
especially
saying?
with girls, because the right dude get in the DM and that could change the whole game. So
Yes, yes, yes.
especially with
And that is
girls.
exactly why I made sure Fridays I brought them out, I took them out on a date. I brought them flowers. Like my kids, their teachers knew who I was. They knew dad. You know what I'm saying? The
Mm,
doctors knew dad. I open the
yeah.
doors for them. I walk on the outside of the street. You know what I'm saying? Like they know what
Right.
time it is. That I keep their standards high. Like, look, this is what a gentleman do. Chivalry still exists. Don't you ever settle.
That's so good. Well, since we went there a little fast, but I'm gonna pull it up now because I did pull it up because I thought This was the cutest thing. First of all, congratulations to your baby girl.
Oh my
Just so you
God.
know,
Thank you. That's, man, that's my
she
firstborn.
graduated.
That girl right there, let me tell you a story, man. She saved my life many times in my
Mm,
life. And I'm not even lying. I'm not just saying it to say it. I'm not just
mhm,
saying, like, she literally saved my life. When she was
mm,
born, the day she was born, I was heavy in the game. I was hustling like a mother, like I was getting money. The day she was born, her mother had 28 hours of labor.
wow.
And I remember her being born, and I remember making sure everything was okay. And I was like, yo, listen, I'll be right back. She was like, what you talking about? I said, you rest up a little. They got the baby. I'm going to be right back. So I left. It was like 1, 2 in the morning. And I went home, and I was living on Montclair Avenue in Newark. And I called my mans up. I said, yo, I need you to come through. He was like, what's up? I said, I just need you to come through now. So he gets there. Now he's thinking shit's about to pop off. He coming out. He's like ready to go with the guns. And like, yo, chill, 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 chill. Like it's not like
Mhm,
that. It's not like that. He said, what's going on? And I said, bro, I just had a baby. He was like, what? She
mhm,
was born. I ain't know that. Why you ain't call me? Blah blah blah. I said, all right, cool, but look, man, I got to give you something. So we was upstairs, went to my spot, and I came out with a book bag, and it had 3 keys of cocaine. It had thousands of ecstasy pills, right? It had all types of shit, some guns, whatever. And I handed it to him. Yo, here, Toma, I don't want it. And he looked at me like, what the fuck wrong with you? And I said, look, man, like, I made my money. I'm done. Like, my daughter will never see me behind bars. Like, it ain't happening.
mm.
And he was like, yo, bro, I don't know what to do with this. What are you talking about? I said, yo, just relax. I'll introduce you to who you need to be introduced to. He said, oh, how much you want? But I said, I don't want nothing. I don't want $1. I'm done. And I literally handed this man a couple hundred K easily.
Mm.
And, and,
And
and I
how old were
walked
you?
away. I was 24.
Mm.
I was 24, and I never looked back. And then she
Wow.
saved my life again 14 months later. I was in a hospital. I bled to death.
Mm.
I bled to death. And when I woke up 2 days later, I was in a short coma after that. I had to get 10 pints of, I coded for 44 seconds.
Wow.
And they hit me with a needle in my heart, a bolus, like adrenaline to wake you
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
And then they gave me that. I woke up to getting 10 pints of blood and 10 pints of platelets, like at the same time, both hands out, right?
Mm.
And I'm like, yo, what the fuck is going on? You know what I'm saying? And the doctor was like, yo, listen, I just so happened to wake up and they're there. And he's like, yo, listen, you got leukemia, you got 2 years to live. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I didn't even know
Wow.
what it was.
So
Like,
hold on. We gotta pause for a second. We gotta pause. So you go from having, this hard life as you're younger, humble beginnings. I never understood that. We kind of have similar backgrounds. If you haven't heard my podcast, I'm gonna challenge you to go hear my story in my
I got
podcast,
you. I
right?
got
We have similar backgrounds. I never understood the whole humble beginnings thing, but I've had those same beginnings, right? And so, you growing up and now you're heavy in the game, you get out and 14 months later,
you.
you're in the
Boom.
hospital losing your
Yeah.
life.
Yo, man, I've been faced with adversity my entire life. You know why? Because I'm God's gangster. Because
Mm.
God gonna continue. He's
Ooh.
he's gonna continue to hit me with things that a soldier can rock with, because he knows that I'm gonna take that wisdom, because it is
Mm.
wisdom, and I'm gonna share it and help as many people as I can because of what I went through and what I beat. And I continue to fight. I'm a fighter.
Mm. God's gangster. Look, GG, God's gangster.
Let's
Write that
go.
down, mi
Let's
gente. If you didn't
go.
write that
Let's
down, write that
go.
down, mi gente. Because when you're going through it and you feeling, that's what you need to look in the mirror and tell yourself.
Yeah,
You are
yeah.
God's
Everything
gangster,
that y'all got,
okay?
listen, no matter what it is you got going on, whether it's your health, whether it's money, whether it's stress, relationship, I don't give a fuck what it is, man. Just know one thing: there is a reason. Everything happens for you, not to you. And there's a
Mm.
reason why. And you might not see it now. Listen, I didn't see what I went through, which we're getting ready to get into, until 10 years later.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, when I went through that and they told me it's leukemia shit, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So then my
Mm.
mom's was like, yo, she calls my daughter's mom. She's like, yo, you need to bring his daughter up here. And I'm like, no. I don't want none of it. I don't want to see I don't want nobody. I was real quiet, real private with my shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't,
Yeah.
nah. And even though my baby, but still, she was like, no. Bring her up here. So she brings her up here, and it's a picture in my book, actually. And babies are so smart. Babies
Mm.
smart, and they know everything. And she lays on my chest, man, and her head just lays here. Her tiny little fingers, they touch my face, man. Yo, I swear to God, I get choked up every time I talk about it because I can see it so
Mm.
clearly. And she's going like this to me, and I look at her, and I'm like, yo, and I start crying, I start bawling. I'm like, yo,
Mm.
fuck this. Like, I ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? And I kissed her on her head, and I was like, baby girl, let me tell you something. And I ran down a whole list. And I was like, I'm going to be here for the day you walk. I'm going to be here for to teach you how to ride a bike. I'm going to be here for your first day of school. I'm going to be here when you graduate high school. I'm going to be here when you get married. I'm going to teach you how to drive. And I just started throwing all this stuff out there. And I'm just like, yo, and I looked at the doctor. The doctor, he just so happens to come in after that. And I'm like, yo, doc. He was like, yes. And I said, man, fuck you. And he said, excuse me? I said, fuck you, bro. Who the fuck are you to tell me that I got 2 years to live, bro? He was like, look, I'm just telling you, we're going to see how medication works, how chemotherapy works, blah, blah, blah. But because of what's going on, I said, man, you can go fuck yourself, bro. Because I'm not believing that. You diagnosing something that I don't believe. Because if you're going to be any fucking dis-ease, you cannot believe it.
Right.
And you got to believe that you ain't never had the fucking thing.
Right.
So he started me on chemotherapy for the first 6-7 months, and I'm on these pills. And I'm on my motorcycle, right? Because I ran a Outlaw 1% motorcycle club. That's another story. So I'm on my bike on a turnpike, and all of a sudden, my body cramps up. Like, boom, I can't move. Because I was in the hospital for some while. I lost like 30 pounds by the time I got out. It took me a little while to get my weight back up. I was boxing. I was training for a fight prior to me going to the hospital. And what we thought was nutrition, what I thought nutrition was, is not nutrition when it comes to healing. Two totally different things. So anyway, so my bike, I cramp up. I roll the bike over on the turnpike. And what felt like forever, it was probably like, I don't know, maybe 10, 20 seconds or whatever. And I opened like when I tell you my whole body cramped up, spazzed up. It wasn't just my hands and my muscles, my fucking organs, like everything in me was just like, oh. And I was like, yo, fuck this. I called him from the fucking highway, trucks flying by. I said, yo, Doug, like, I ain't doing this no more. My college was like, yo, what are you talking about? You gonna kill yourself? I said, well, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it my way. And I went completely holistic for 2 years, plants, herbs, vegetables, spices, and a whole lot of fucking fruits. And I learned a couple of different things. Leukemia is not a fucking cancer. It is a portal vein issue, which we're not going to get too far into that. Yes. And come to find out, what I went through has allowed me, here goes the blessing. That's why the name of my one book is Cancer, My Unseen Gift. Why was it my unseen gift, y'all? And everything that you got going on, why is it your unseen gift? I'm going to tell you why. Because now you can help heal anybody else going through something. I have healed thousands of people from cancer, and I can't say that I'm a doctor. I can't say that I'm a scientist. I can't say none of that. What I do tell them is this. This is what I did. Right. It worked for me. And here you go. You dig what I'm saying?
Just educate. And mi gente, that's what I take from this. If you're going through something and you're thinking, oh, I'm just going to do plants and I'm going to be all better now. It is an education process. Like, take what he's saying and like really investigate. Ask.
Yes, you got to go down a rabbit hole.
Yes, right. You go deep down and
because
you
they're not going to tell you.
Right.
They're not going to tell you. Look, I'm not saying doctors evil. I'm not here for none of that. What I am saying is this. If they wasn't just working for a big pharma, not all of them, a lot of them, then why wouldn't they tell you, listen, if you're going to do this, you can also do this, stay away from the meats because too much of the meat is the protein which surrounds your fucking mitochondria, which suffocates it, doesn't allow it to breathe, and dies out as a cell. Now you can't heal. Like, it goes so far into this stuff, you know what I'm saying? Why don't they tell you, see, this is how it goes when it comes to real live electricity, live foods, right? Fruits detox you. Herbs heal you. Vegetables rebuild you. You remember them three things, you can heal whatever you want to heal.
That's good.
And there's a process. So now when I went through this, right, throughout that time, I'm meeting people. People was telling me, refer a word of mouth, because I was never on social media until a couple of years ago, right? And they was like, yo, you heard you do this. Can you help me? Can you help me? Can you help me? Yeah, sure, no problem. But now check this out. Almost 10 years later, I go to an event, a Tony Robbins event, Date with Destiny event. And I'm at this event. And this lady,
I want to put you on hold for just a second. Before we get into that, I do want to shout out to your other babies here, because I did get them on pictures and we were already talking about your kids. And I know they play a big part of your life. But I want to shout out this picture because, as you said, you made real to that promise, that baby you were holding. Like, this was not even planned. I didn't know he was going to tell that story. I just know I seen this picture and I thought it was beautiful.
I got to
take a picture. You made real on that promise. Like, that's her VPK little kindergarten graduation. And here she is graduating. And you just said that you made that promise to her. And I think that is so beautiful that this, like she said, she literally saved your life. And then shout out to your other baby girl, right? This is your other daughter.
Yes.
She's 11.
Let me tell you something, man. She's my woo. So my first one, she saved my life. This girl make my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, This girl, she's got her own swag, her
I
own
love it.
everything.
I
You know,
love
it was
that.
just
I
me and
love
her for a
that.
long time too. You know what I mean? I was a single father for a couple of years. It's just been
Yeah,
me and
and
her
I'll
rocking for
tell
a
you one
while.
thing. Our first introduction to your daughter, she was at the event, and you had her
Yeah,
stand
yes,
up, and you had her give her affirmations. And when she gave them, it wasn't only her giving them; it's the way she said it. Even though you could tell she was a little shy to stand up in a crowd, when the words were coming out of her mouth, you can hear the authority behind it, and that was huge.
yes.
So shout out to you for that, because that is an
Thank you,
amazing
thank
thing.
you,
And then, of
thank
course,
you.
like you said, you had your two girls, and God bless you with your baby boy.
Yes, my young king. I manifested him. I
Oh.
literally manifested him. I have so my his name is Titan.
Mm.
And I put my identity. So I created my own identity, I live by certain things in my life that I wake up and read, right? And it's my identity, my theater of the mind, my principles, my rules, my values, like, and it
Mm.
keeps me in track. And I
Okay.
wrote down that my name is that I was Titan. That was one of my identities. I'm a protector, provider to mankind, right?
Mm.
Um, and I said I would only use this word, this name, until my born son is born. If he is not born by this age, then I will legally change my name. And
Mm.
he was born a
You
couple
didn't have
months
to.
ago.
He was born, and he
Yeah.
looks just like you.
Ah, ain't the milkman's.
And he looks at me. You can see right here in this picture. I'm like, oh, it
Yeah.
looks just
You know
like
what?
you.
Reset the clock. You know what I'm saying? I love
Yeah,
kids.
for real.
I want to adopt too. Like I just love kids. Yo.
I love
I
that.
love the opportunity to be an offering to my kids.
Yeah, right. To be an offering to your kids.
Because
I
that's
feel
the
like
way.
I learned that so late because we grow up like, in the Hispanic household, Puerto Rican household, where it's like, you're mine. You do what I say. This is it. Coño,
Yes.
no me hable para atrás y ya, right?
Yes.
Versus us being an offering to them. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Like
yes,
that.
and we got to reverse that, right? Because I always say this, man. Just because I used to say it with money or wealth, whatever, but it doesn't matter, right? Just because you came from something doesn't mean your kids should come from the same thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's
Right.
up to you to unwrap that mindset. And I feel like this, man. I feel like everybody that gets into like the late 20s, early 30s. I'm 42 years old, right? Um, Everybody that gets into that age, they kind of start to have this epiphany, like, yo, and they feel confused and lost because they're battling something that I'm on my mom's mindset and
Mhm.
my father's mindset or my grandparent or whatever it
Yeah.
is that you grew up in your environment. Like, that's not who the fuck you are. That's not your identity. You got to
Right.
strip that away and you can create it. When people ask me, D, how did you make it? How do you do? Motherfucker, I created this.
Yes.
Every single morning, I hold myself accountable. I can sleep
Mm.
in. I cannot go to the gym. I cannot do certain things, but then I'm not holding myself accountable. I hold myself to a set of standards that the average person is going to be like, yo, this motherfucker's crazy. But if I
Mm.
did not do that, I would not be where I'm at right now. So when people
And
say
that's
I
the thing.
can't,
You hit those 30s, you hit that stage, and three things happen, right? You either stay in that wondering zone, you go back to believing the way it was, and you stay there, or you don't. You hold
yes,
yourself accountable and you move forward. And
100%.
so I love that you say that accountability. That was like a check mark for real. Like every morning, not once a week, not throughout the day. Every morning when you wake up, you hold yourself accountable to the gift that you've been giving of life, right? And I love
Yeah,
that. And so, okay, let's go. So you went, you beat this illness, you wrote, this incredible book. You do have another book coming out soon,
yeah.
Expand by Demand. And so you just literally said, I'm gonna be here for my daughter's lives. Now you start going into business for yourself. You said you were talking about Tony Robbins a little bit.
Okay,
Tell us
so
about
the business started when my daughter was born,
that. Hmm.
right? I told you what I did. Now in my mind, I'm just like, yo, before I'm sorry, pause. Let me go back.
Okay.
When I coded, um, in my mind, I was like, what am I doing? I was working full time as a lineman, right?
Mm,
I did a lot. I was a lineman. They worked in construction, high voltage. I was a mechanic for a couple of years in GM, right? So like, I'm asking myself in the hospital when everything is said and done, right? And I'm like, yo, like, I can't leave her a job.
mm,
Like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, I can't do this. And I was like, yo, D man, you a hustler. I got hustler's mentality tattooed right here, real big. Like, I said, yo, D, you a hustler, bro. Like, what you doing? You can't leave her no dope money. You can't leave her a job. What the fuck is you doing? So when I got out of the hospital, probably within the first couple months, I opened up my very first business. And it was an easy one because in the motorcycle club, I had a bunch of brothers that tattooed. So I was like, yo, what's up, man? Y'all want to get it? Y'all want to do the shit legit? Like, he was like, yeah, what's up? So me and my man, we partnered. We opened up our first shop. And then a year later, I bought another shop. And that's how the business started. And then when my daughter, and then like, I don't know, maybe 2, 3, 4 years later, I was just like investing into whatever. If somebody gave me a call, like, yo, D, man, I got this. Yo, I got it's part of a strip club. I got a car wash. I got a clothing store. I got like all these things, salons. And I was like, yo, sure, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? And I was just investing, right? Taking partnership, taking this, taking that, helping them with their business, whatever, right? I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. Right? I knew business. I knew hustling.
Yeah.
But I didn't know CEO. I didn't know chairman. And this is where everything changed. So when I was 29, going into 30, right, I made my first million at 29. I invested and I became a silent partner in a nightclub, 6,500 square feet. Now, I was living in Jersey. I was actually living in Elizabeth at the time, and I was investing in a club in Orlando. Right? But I used to go back and forth to check it out, whatever. Started making some money, some shit, right? The dude that I partnered with at the time, he got into a really bad motorcycle accident. They had a helicopter him out. I flew in, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? I had to go to the office to go pick up some paperwork for him. When I go to the office, I'm looking through, there's 2 safes, and I see there's 2 bank accounts, and I see there's 2 of everything. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? Right? So I started looking through I wasn't intentional. I literally had to look through shit to find the stuff that he wanted me to find.
Right.
But I find some other shit. 19,000 here, 20-something thousand here. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck is this? I don't see this. I don't get this. So I brought it. So I'm leaving the club. And as I walk out, this guy walks up to me. He was like, yo, Danny. I was like, oh, what's up, baby? How you doing? He was like, yo, you in town? I said, yeah. He goes, yo, we got to talk. I said, all right, cool. Look, man, I'm at the hospital. You know, you heard about this guy? He was like, yeah, I heard. He says, you know, y'all owe me money. I said, what you talking about? We owe you money. And he's like, yo, I never got paid. I said, what are you talking about, bro? I'm the one that signed that check. I remember I was here. He was like, bro, I never got it. So I'm like, what? So now I go to the hospital. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is this, man? You've been stealing from me, dog. So he was like, oh, no, I was going to tell you, but you wasn't going to tell me shit. But he's all fucked up, laid up. So I pull the fucking pillow out and I jump on top of him with the fucking pillow. Like, yo, you motherfucker, you try stealing from me. I always say there's 3 things, man. There's only one reason why any man would want to kill a motherfucker. And 3 reasons is this. And I got this from my father, right? And one is they steal money from you, they kill your brother, or they fuck your wife. Straight up. Those are 3 things. If them 3 things happen in my life, it's on. You feel what I'm saying? No, so anyway, so that happened, whatever.
And everything happens for a reason. Let me tell you that
happened for a reason.
That was a purpose. Like,
I took the whole thing over, and I went left, got the paperwork from the lawyers, boom, signed here, took the whole thing over. Boom, making crazy money, making 80 grand, whatever month, just killing it, right? Then I'm like, I can't do this, fly back and forth. So I sold it, right? Sold it within a year. A year later, no, I'm sorry, almost a year later, I get a paper in the mail talking about, I'm getting sued for $1.2 million. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm like, what the fuck is this, man? So supposedly my lawyer, somebody fucked up. My name was on the lease after I sold it. There was a copy of it that they gave to the new people. Some shit happened. Anyway, I didn't have FU money at the time, right? Like these guys they owned strip mall, billionaires. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they was taking me to. They wanted me to pay the next 10 years, even though I wasn't part of it. My name was still on that fucking lease, and I had to claim bankruptcy, and I had to sell a lot of things because I was paying for things for a while, and then I was like, I can't do this. I'm not gonna win, right? And that was the first. So I made it, and I lost it within the year, 2 years. Everything was gone, and then I worked my way back up, but. That's when I got wiser, and I was like, all right, look, I never been to college. I never did none of that shit. But all right, now I started reading books. I started hiring coaches and consultants and going to business seminars. And you know what I'm saying? One thing after another got me into personal development seminars. Because like, look, your personal work is your personal worth is your personal work. You know what I'm saying? Like personal development is wrapped around everything in your life. It's wrapped around your money. Yes. It's wrapped around your relationship. It's wrapped around your health. It's wrapped around everything. And that's when I wised up. And that's when I was like, all right, bet. And I got back into it. Stacked up my bread again. And my daughter again, here goes another thing she saved me. Because when that happened, when that happened was me and her mom was going through some crazy shit. I ended up being homeless for like 30 days, maybe probably about 40 days. I was sleeping in my motorcycle clubhouse. right? Because me and mom's beefing, whatever. Um, within 6 months, I hit when I tell you I hit the grind, I hit the grind hard. Within
Mm.
6 months, I picked her up, my daughter up at one day. I think she was like 9 or 10 years old, and I drove her around, and I said, "Yo, mommy, I want you to pick a house that you like." She was like, "What?" I said, "I'm just gonna drive around some areas. I just want you to tell me what's your style." So we drove by a house. And matter of fact, I put this post up a while back. We drove by a house, and she was like, "I want that one." And I stopped, and I said, "Why you like that one?" It was a ranch, right? It's a nice size house too. I said, "Why you want that one?" She was like, "Because then in the middle of the night when I get hungry, right, I ain't got to go down those steps to get to the kitchen." So I start cracking up. This little girl told me this, right? So I was like, "I bet." So I did what I had. I dropped her off. I knocked on the door. I came right back. I knocked on the door. Anything I fucking want, I get. Right? I manifest everything. I went back and knocked on the door. The guy opened the door. I say, "How you doing? My name is so and so, man. You want to sell your house?" And the guy looks at me like, "What?" I said, "Look, man, I don't
Yeah,
know
that's
if
some movie stuff. You hear about this in the
yo, I
movies,
swear to
like you
God,
see this in the
yo,
movies.
te lo juro, yo." And the guy was like, "But check this out. Everything happens for a reason. There's no such thing as coincidence in this world, y'all. And the
Mm,
people that you meet, listen, everything, the people that you meet is either a lesson, a blessing. That's it. And
mm,
it's either a season for a reason. Like, that's it. You know what I'm saying?" So I knocked on the door. He came out. He was like, "Yo, you my realtor?" He said it real nasty. I was like, "Whoa, whoa, chill, 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 chill." He was like, "Look, man, I'm sorry." He says, his grandma been living in a home for about a year. Not that home, but like in one of them elderly homes. She passed away. Her cousin, her nephew was living there. He ain't been paying shit. And now he just flew in from another state. I forgot what state. And it's been abandoned for almost a year. And I said, "Get the fuck out of here." He goes, "Yeah, it's about to go to
mm,
probate." I said, "No, let's make a deal." He said, "Oh, I got to give my sister a little something." I said, "Man, fuck your sister. I'll tell you what, I hit you over some cash, and then you can sell it for half the price, and you got the money in your pocket, and you give your sister whatever you want to give her." He was like, "I bet, let's make a deal." So a couple months later, everything went through probate. I got the phone call, bought the house, picked up my daughter, gave her the keys, drove to the house. "Baby girl, here." She was like, "What?" So "I bought you the house you want." Straight up. You want
mm.
something in this world, you fucking get it.
Wow, knock on the freaking door, bro. Like,
Listen,
if that is not a lesson, knock on the door. Like, make the phone call, pick it up, do what you have to do to set that connection because it is real. And I love that because we can relate as far as seeing it in movies because we see it all the time where people knock on the door. "I want to buy your house." And, sometimes they're doing it not the right way, but at the end of the day, just being able to understand that if you really want something and going after it and getting in. Here's what I want to talk about, Danny. I want to take it here because a lot of people might be saying, "Oh, but that's just him. Oh, well,
no,
he's just lucky. Oh,
no.
well, because I hear it all the time, right? I hear it all the time." So talk about that.
So I love that you just said that he's just lucky. Let me tell y'all something, man. You got to create your own luck, and I'm gonna tell you why. You think I had the bread at that time to buy that house? Absolutely
Mm,
not. I had no fucking clue, but I knew I was gonna get the house. So what did I do? I put the energy out there. I told God, "Look, I'm going here." I told the universe, "This is where it's at. Meet me here." When you want something, the definition of manifestation is not just let me do a fucking rain dance and I'm gonna get fucking money. It ain't like that, right? You want to manifest something, you got to take action and you got to move towards it. And it's gonna meet you halfway, right? So I did that, not because I'm lucky. I did that, and it took a couple months. Within those months, I'm like, "Yo, I gotta make this fucking down payment. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. All this other shit." And on top of that, I had a bankruptcy underneath my name, so I couldn't put the house under my fucking name.
mm,
So I had to pay my old man, like, "Yo, bro, do me a favor." He was like, "I don't know." I said, "Bro, here, take this bread. You know what I'm saying? This will pay it out for the whole first year. Take this other money. This is the down payment. And after the first year, you can," because I looked it all up legally. I didn't need no
mm-hmm,
fucking lawyer. The only reason you need a lawyer is because you don't want to read a book.
mm.
I looked it up, and after 1 year, he could put my name on a deed, and I could take over and refinance. And that's exactly what I did. And
Wow.
I had no clue how I was going to get the money. I had no clue what I was going to do. I had no clue what I was going to say when I knocked on the fucking door. No
Mm,
matter what it is you want in this world, y'all, you are the only one that's stopping yourself. Straight up. Manifestation and luck and all this other stuff comes from massive action. Straight up.
mm,
That's it. Anytime you feel a state of depression, anytime you feel something of lack, anytime you feel self-doubt, the only thing that will work is massive action towards your goal, aka certainties,
Mm.
and you accomplish that motherfucker. Because let me tell you, when you move forward towards it, God is gonna be like, yo, I'm gonna meet this man. Yo, and you know what's crazy? I was never into that before. And now look, I got a business Bible I bought the other day. Like, I was never into none of
It's
this
so
stuff.
pretty.
I've been preaching a lot of this stuff, and I ain't know half the stuff I was preaching was already in the book. You know why? Because Christ conscious, all I'm doing is just flowing. I'm in flow.
Yes,
That's
he's
all
in
I'm doing.
us.
And if I can do this shit,
Exactly.
anybody can do it. If I could lay up in a motherfucking in a shelter when I was a kid with sneakers, shoelace tied around my arms and my hands inside the shoelace while I'm sleeping, so nobody fucking steals my sneakers because they did that.
Mm.
If I can do that and come and beat cancer and beat the streets and beat almost a 20-year RICO case, if I can
Right.
do that, there's no reason why y'all can't do anything y'all want to do, man.
I
Straight.
love that. And I want to talk about that because you talked about everything you've been through. And so you've even done the blue collar thing. Like you've even done the work
Yes.
thing where
Yes.
you've had to
All
do
this
this.
business stuff that I've been doing was on the side. I worked for
Mm,
16 years straight in that career.
mm,
16 years straight, 126 hours a week, a lot of the time, being forced through storms, through holidays, through birthdays. You know what I'm saying? I was a troubleshooter, so I picked up jobs by myself. You know what I'm saying? I would pull up on a pole, car hit a pole, wire down, burning up. I've seen so many people die on poles, fried, flipped in half from a car accident, houses burnt. I've seen so many things in that job. There ain't no eraser on that job, but some people in the job itself. That was the number one most dangerous job in the world for like 4 or 5 years in a row.
mm.
Ain't no eraser on that. But guess what? I still managed to do everything that I was doing. So I don't give a fuck. Yo, I used to run the club, right? I used to run my motorcycle club. We was just them crazy Puerto Ricans from North Newark. That's what they called us, right? We started this club with 7 of us, and boom, we blowed up like over 1,200 type shit around the world. Around the world. And we grew faster than everybody. Why? Because we was just street dudes that became MC. We wasn't MC that's trying to become cool, become street. You know what I'm saying? We wasn't none of that. We was real, we was raw, we was authentic, we wasn't fake, right? And we knew what the fuck we was doing when it came to like, yo, this is a brotherhood. You feel me? So if I was running the club, running my businesses, working crazy hours, still seeing my kids every single day, right? Because we wasn't living together, but I was making sure every single day when I got out of work, I didn't care what time it was, I drove to their house.
Right.
Every single day. You know what I'm saying? So like when people say I ain't got time, that's the same fucking excuse they use when COVID hit, right? And everybody was like, oh, now you got 2 weeks off. You ain't doing a motherfucking thing but sitting at home with your thumb up your ass. Where's your not time? All right, look in the fucking mirror and ask yourself, yo, is that real? Is that a truth? Are you really, really being real with you? Are you doing mirror work? I tell everybody this, man, you got to look in the fucking mirror. You know what I'm saying? Strip down butt ass snake and stare at that motherfucking mirror. Are you happy with what you see? Because after 4 or 5 minutes, you're going to look and you're going to see your eyes. You ain't going to see none of your body. And I'm going to still ask you again, are you happy with what you see?
That's good.
You know what I'm saying?
That's so good. I actually love that mirror thing. Like, I think it's so pivotal. Like and I love something that you even told me, because when I told you that, you were like, okay, but how much are you doing? And I'm like, ooh, like I need to take it a step up, right? Because I've had to do that. And I've tell people all this time, like in my story, or even just you doing it, like even like you said, strip through, like loving and seeing yourself exactly every stretch, every mark, every scar, everything that's within, right? And just really being able to look at yourself and love yourself and know your worth to be able to get to the next level.
You know, a lot of people live with false beliefs from their upbringing. You know what I'm saying? Because they never created their own beliefs, their own life, their own everything. You know how many people out here is living someone's life because they think that the other person thinks that that's the way they should be, right, instead of just being themselves. Yo, authenticity is the most powerful frequency in this world. So it's the highest energy there is. You know what I'm saying? 528 is love, right? When you learn frequencies and you learn energies, you'll know that that's in the 800s. Actually, it's 900. Authenticity is the highest one. I always tell people, I'm so real and so authentic that I make you question yourself when you speak to me. I tell that shit to everybody.
That's good. But you know what? And the word nowadays, it just gets thrown around. I'm so authentic. Like it's authentic. Like, but when you really look at the definition and the meaning of it and what it really stands for, right? And just being able to really, if you could look at yourself in the mirror and truly know your worth and love yourself, then you really are being authentic to yourself. You're not just being what society says authentic is that you should be.
And ladies, love yourself because you are enough. Because there's so many women in this world. I think every woman in this world deals with some type of I'm not enough, right? And let me tell you something, man. There's no such thing as anybody anybody telling you what you are. Like, you control that. You dig what I'm saying? And if you're not happy, it's because you're living below your standards. You know what I'm saying? Everybody tell me, oh, how can I be more happier? Yo, just live above your standards. Like, this is my standards, and that's the case closed. Because if your standard is here, but you're settling for here, you'll never be fucking happy.
Right.
So how are you even going to think that you're enough? Because you might not be enough for the person that's the wrong person for you. But you're enough for yourself, and you're enough for the next man. Yeah. But my question, my next question to back that up is, just make sure that you are doing the work for yourself as well. Because who are you comparing yourself against? Because I tell myself every day, every morning I wake up, I die to myself of yesterday. Why? Because every night I go to sleep, I go to sleep smarter than when I woke up. So you make sure that you're doing the personal work, and you are enough. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? You got to own that shit.
That's so good. And I believe that's where self-confidence comes between self-worth. I talk about this all the time too, because, you know, you can be confident. Like, confidence is great. You need it. I mean, I talk about it. It's a big thing, right? But knowing yourself, you can have confidence and still not feel like you're worthy. And then that's why you don't put boundaries and you put up with a bunch of crap.
You know why? You know why that happens? Especially for women. You know why that happens? I'm a firm believer in this. Because many women these days, and I say these days because of social media and the shit that they compare themselves to, they live in a masculine energy, and they believe, it's just a belief because it's not the truth, because I've studied and I teach this masculine and feminine energy stuff. They believe that they have to be masculine because it is the strongest energy, which is a lie. Feminine energy is the strongest energy on this planet. Why? Because it's goddess energy. When a woman, when a queen taps into her goddess energy, there is nothing that she can't do. She is a creator. A woman is a creator of life. A man is the provider for that life. That's it. But you can't have no child or that a woman is not going to bear for you. And a woman must know this. Matter of fact, I'm going to give you a perfect scenario. Have you ever seen the movie? If anybody else has seen this movie, if not, watch it. The movie 300. Have you ever seen the movie?
Long time ago.
Okay,
that's one of my husband's favorite movie. Long time ago.
So,
I remember when he kicked it in the pit, right?
That's exactly what I'm about to talk about.
Okay.
That's exactly what I'm about to say. You know why? Because check this out. Right before he kicked him in his pit, do you remember what happened?
No.
Right before, literally a half a second before he kicked him in his pit, he went like this. He looked at his queen. And his queen didn't have to say anything. And she said, that's all she did. Very slightly. That's goddess energy right there. So the king, he a king. He got his kingdom. He runs shit.
Right.
But he knows when the goddess, he looked over.
Decision.
Bet. And then.
Yeah. Oh, now I'm going to have to go rewatch it. Oh my God.
That's goddess energy.
That's so dope.
Goddess, yes. A goddess woman knows.
That.
Yes.
Listen,
and a goddess woman knows.
You got to understand what was just said here. We missed it in the movie because we miss it, period. We don't see it. Like, I didn't even think of that. I remember everybody's going off, and he kicked him in there, and it was a big thing. And everybody talks about that because, you know, the guy got kicked in. But no one talks about that part. We missed it because we miss it. Like, listen, write it down, ladies, gentlemen. I mean, it is good. That is so good.
Yes, that's why they say a king needs a queen. She got to be that ride or die. She got to be that. And now, look, I'm not saying that one is fit for all of them. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is when she truly understands and embodies her goddess energy, that she does not have to play in her masculine. And if she has a disagreement with her man or whoever, she does not have to get rah-rah. She doesn't got to act like she got a bigger dick than him. Like, it's literally like, all right, cool, but check this out. And she go at it like that. That is way more powerful than her acting in her masculine. And another thing that fucks up sometimes inside the household is by her staying in her masculine when she comes home from work, if she works, right? By her coming home from work. When I say that, I mean, like, I feel like the man should be the one holding the shit down. But when she come home, she's still playing her masculine. But why? Fellas, let me ask you a question. Why is she playing her masculine still, y'all? Because you have not given her the safety net to allow her to trust you so that way she could play in her feminine and play her princess and play her 6-year-old self when she's in the house and feel safe. So she always feels like she's got to make it masculine. It's like on the weekends or on a Friday night, you come home and y'all both work, whatever, right? 90% of the world, husband, wife work, whatever, right? Come home, she's tired. And you tell her, man tells her he thinks that pleasing is the right thing to do when it comes to this. That's the wrong fucking thing to do, because by him saying, hey, hon, what do you want to go out to eat? Let's go out. Okay, bet. What do you want? Oh, I don't care. Well, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want? No. It should not work like that. And I'm going to tell you why. Because she's already like, fuck, man, I made all these decisions at work. I don't want to make these fucking decisions right now. The man should be like, yo, Friday, you got a dress on the motherfucking bed. We got reservations at 7:00. I picked 2 places. Let me just ask you want Spanish or Italian? I bet. Let's go. You can ask her that. But you already got everything ready. 7 p.m. Go. Let's go. I'll be in the car at 6:30. Done.
Yes.
You know how good she's gonna fucking feel, fellas.
Yeah.
You got. Yo, you have to control that, man. You have to allow her to play in her feminine. Just let her be a mom. Just let her rock out, and the game will change.
That's so good. I want to go to the comments real quick because these, is blowing up a lot of comments here, and there was some from earlier too. But first of all, Lisa says, "Hey, Lisa, we love you, girl." She says, "Hey, Danny." But she also says, even the most alpha females will be soft in the hands of a safe man.
In the hands of a safe man. Yes. Because let me tell you, a lot of women say, oh, I'm too this, I'm too that. I can't find a strong man. No. I mean, the reason is the stronger man hasn't seen you yet. Because let me tell you something. I don't give a fuck how strong a woman can be. That strong woman that you see attitude, that you see boss, that you see all this stuff in the business world, yo, when she gets home, she's the softest, probably the most freakiest. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's the one that just want to play.
Right.
But you gotta have the right man. Yo, she is 100% right.
Right. That's so good. And on Instagram, they're over here saying facts. Wow. Tell them goddess energy, the way of the superior man.
That's a great book. That book, every man and woman should read.
That's a book?
Yeah, so that I actually had, his name is David Dieta. I had him in one of my many events because I run many retreats, and I had him in one of my many events years ago. That book right there. So I tell this to a lot of my clients. I tell them, look, read that book right there, right? Read Queen. Oh my God, I can't believe I think of this shit right now. It'll come to me. There's 2 books that I always tell them to read.
Okay.
And that one's for the men, and the other one
for it.
And the other one is for it'll come to me. It'll come to me in like 2 seconds. It'll come to me.
That's good.
Keys to the Kingdom is another relationship book. Queen's Code. All women should read Queen's Code, and all men should read that book.
That's good. Queen's Code. Man, that is so good. Thank you. I know that this kind of went this way, and we went from talking about your job to this.
But remember, I told you, right? What did I say when we first got on? Before we even got on, what did I ask?
It's going. What are we gonna talk about? What your audience needs is gonna flow,
what
right?
They need. Let's go. It's gonna flow. Listen, God, right? I'm just pouring out. I'm pouring out whoever is watching right now. The only reason I'm speaking the way I'm speaking, one, is because I'm passionate, but 2, because he's like, yo, put this out. I'm just following, yo.
Yeah. No, for real. And it's like hitting, and it's so good. And I'm so thankful that you've been able to come on here. But before we leave, I do want to talk about so you have all this energy, you have all this training, you went to Tony Robbins events, and I remember you telling us that on stage. You invested in yourself, you're working, you're doing all of these things, and then all of a sudden, like, you're helping people from people just calling you, but now you've turned that into an actual business.
A real business, yeah. So instead of just being a side gig, this other stuff, I started doing the men's coaching, obviously, because I'm like, yo, I'm running this club, and I got men coming from all walks of life. Every gang you think of, people that just came out of prison. I got all types of shit coming at me. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, and I'm like, yo, no, like, let me help you. Because I always had a good heart, right? I might have been a little crazy motherfucker when I was a kid or when I was younger, right? I say this, I'm just a no-nonsense motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not beefing nobody's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? My father grabbed me by the face, right, when I was a kid. He put me up against the fucking wall. He had, like, right here, like, on my chin. Threw me up against the fucking wall. He punched me in my face when I was a kid. He said, look, and I said, what the fuck? Right? I was real young. Like, I had to be like 10 years old, y'all. He punched me dead in my face. Boom! He said, listen, I'm not going to sit here and teach you how to fight. Just know one thing. If you could take a punch from me, you could take a punch from anybody. Don't you ever be fucking scared of anybody. And that stuck with me my entire life. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, yo, like, everybody, if he bleed, I bleed. Like, nah, I'm not worried about none of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't go like that, you know?
That's good. So you took that now and you help men, you help women, you help people
Yeah, so
get
I just started serving them. I always had a good heart. I started serving men. Women started asking. What's interesting is I promote a lot to men, but I got a lot more women clients all the time. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because in my hallucination, in my own hallucination, I feel that they feel trust, they feel safe.
That I was gonna say that's
You know
safe.
what I'm
That
saying? And
yes.
I transform so many women's lives, yo. If what's this is the funny part. If dudes knew or women knew how I help each other for their relationships, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it'll be a funny thing. I just like that's all good. I keep my mouth shut. Like, yo, there's times where I got some dudes that'll hit me up like, yo, I'm about to go over. All right, cool. Like I read a lot of poetry and shit, right? Like I'm telling you, what's it called? A multi-dimensional motherfucker.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
exactly.
saying? Like straight up, I'm a multi-dimensional motherfucker. I'm very spiritual. I'm a spiritual gangster. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I'll literally like, I'll write something here. Here, I send it to them. Here, give it to her. You know what I mean? Like I be doing all types of shit.
I love that. I love that though. And and then we need that open door because that will help them. Like you said, you putting them together, that helps them get to the next level to be able to
Yeah,
find each other or really just know each
yeah,
other
yeah.
and
You
go.
know what,
I mean,
coaching?
now that I think about it, that's probably a sign. You heard it here first on the Speakeasy show. Couples might be a thing for you, like doing
Maybe,
couples. That's something to think
maybe.
about. I'm just saying, you never know.
Something different, but maybe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, that could be
Um,
something that you work
you
on.
know, I think one of the biggest reasons why I leaned more into coaching, is because no matter how much money have I ever made, right? Fulfillment. I gain so much fulfillment. I had a couple calls earlier today, and there's one woman, and we was on a call for a while. And I'm not a person like, 30 minutes, 1 hour. Like I don't time this shit. We just get on the fucking call. My next call is within 2 hours. Don't worry about it, right? And we went through some really, really deep shit. And I took her through a process. And she started crying, and she's like, yo, like, and she coaches, she does this. And she's like, yo, like you like what the fuck? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I get fulfillment. I get phone calls from husbands, from wives, from friends, from whoever, like, yo, you saved my life. Yo, you saved my marriage. You saved my relationship. You saved my business. Like that fulfillment, man. Like there is nothing in this wheel. Achievement without fulfillment is nothing. It's nothing. There is no dollar in this world that can give you a sense of fulfillment. You think it can. You think it can. All the other shit is just material stuff. Yeah, you could travel, you can have fun, and you got time with your kids and freedom. But unless you have true fulfillment, and the only way you're going to get true fulfillment is if you lean in on your gifts. That's your purpose. Your purpose will show if you lean in on your gifts. Don't hesitate. Don't ask yourself, should I not help this person? I know what I can do. I know how I can help them. Yo, you're gifted for a reason, y'all. And use that. That's your purpose. Now, granted, your purpose can change because you got to know when your assignment is done. I just made a video about this the other day. You got to know when your assignment is done. All right, my assignment is done here. Next, move on to the next, whether it be a relationship, whether it be a business, whether it be whatever it is. Once you know your assignment is done, you move on to your next purpose. Guess what? Another gift is going to show up.
That's good. That's good. That's so good. And you say this a lot. The purpose of life is expansion, and that's why you have expand by demand,
Yeah,
right?
so expand by demand, and the purpose of life is expansion. And in order to expand, we subconsciously must demand it. And the reason the X is like that because the X itself is your life, it's your conscious being expanded.
Okay, so that's why it's coming out from the middle like that. So it's growing.
I've been running seminars. Actually, I just posted one today too, about 6 years ago. One of my first seminars that I ran with Expand by Demand. I've been doing it for a long time already. Coaching for over 10 years, but Expand by Demand, like the brand, I've been doing it for a while. But I suck at marketing. Like, I don't give a fuck about that. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just me.
But you know what? When it's word of mouth, when it's that good, that's okay, But I'm glad that you are getting better and doing more because you will reach more, right? And that's the goal. Right, the goal is to reach more, and so now that you're more on social media, because I see you're showing up, you're coming, you're doing.
Yeah, I gotta be on there heavy now, man. And before that, a couple of years ago, when I never had social media, people was like, "D, that's you? You got social media? Like, what the fuck? Like, yo, look, you see this? You see this ring right here?
Yeah,
that's. Can you? I don't even know what the thing is. You see that?
Right there.
So some people think it's a skull, right?
Yeah,
but it's a Spartan mask. Right, but it's cool because I consider it half skull, half Spartan mask. Why? Because this reminds me. Because a lot of times I actually wear like this, and one of my mentors actually told me this too. I wear like this to look at myself. right?
Mm,
Why? Because I will forever be a warrior, and the skull side reminds me that we're all human, we're all the same. Don't ever
mm.
judge. Don't ever judge.
That's so good. That's so good. Wow. Thank you so much. Like, this has been such, you have an incredible story, an incredible journey. You're only at the beginning. I mean, you are in the second half of your life, and there's so much more for you to do. And I pray
Thank
that
you.
God just continues to bless your journey, bless your life, bless the people that come into it. You are anointed. It is like I love how you said earlier. I don't know if anyone caught this, but if you didn't, understanding that the way you live your life is already biblical without you not being in the Bible, because you were already in him. Like, we're created in God's image,
We are
right? So
created by
we're it's
God's
already
design.
in us. Yes. It's
100%.
already in us. And so you already saying, you acknowledging that and realizing that, and just continuing on your faith and your growth and what you're doing for your daughters. I mean, it is incredible. And I'm so thankful that you
Thank you
gave
so much.
Thank you.
Thank
But
you.
I will say this, and it's hard to say this because you gave so much. And so, but most of the time this is how we always end it. Not most of the time. Always I say, like, if you had 1 minute to tell your daughters, and I would say your daughters because I say most of the time the most important person in your life, and I know that that's who they are right now, your kids, right? One thing, like if you had 1 minute and you would never be able to talk to them again, and you wanted them to know
Mm.
this one thing in their
Mm.
life, what would it
Whew.
be?
Wow. That's a big one. Um, Honestly, I'll keep it simple and I'll just say to always believe in yourself.
Hmm.
Never let nobody take nothing away from you, right? One thing I've learned years ago and why I study so much and always working and learning things, because they can take everything away. They can strip you naked with your clothes, your material, your money, your home. They can do everything to you, but they cannot take this.
Hmm.
They cannot take this, right? So as long as you know who you are and you know what you know, there's nothing in this world that should be allowed to steer you away from your purpose.
Mm, that's so good. That's perfect. And it is a great way to end it. That is awesome. And if you
No,
didn't catch
that
it,
was like a brain dump right there.
yeah,
Like,
right there. Like, if you didn't catch anything, go back, watch the recording, fast forward to the nuggets you need to write this down, start applying this information into your life right now. If you want to reach out to Danny, here's his Facebook, here's his IG. We're going to put the link to his site on the comments. Don't be afraid to just reach out and DM. He is more than willing
yeah,
and happy
listen,
to
and
give
you got any
time.
questions, you know what I'm saying? Get at me. I just got another phone. My other phone was jacked up. I messed it up the other day, but I lost a lot of numbers, man. But and look, send me a message. You will get me. You know what I'm saying? It ain't gonna be nobody else. You know what I'm saying? Like my sister, sometimes she runs it for me, like when I gotta post certain things or whatever. But like now, some things is automated. But you will get me, y'all. Like if you got something going on, question, you want me to help somebody, heal somebody, whatever. Like yo, I'm an open book, y'all. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's get it. Let's grow. Thank you again, mi gente. Thank you again, Danny. Thank you, mi gente, for coming on, watching the Speak Easy with Idylli show.
Thank
We'll
you.
see y'all. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Super honored for this. I will see y'all next Tuesday, 8 p.m. EST. I'll also see y'all in the comments. To all my people watching on the replay, y'all know I love you guys. Have a great night.
That's dope. That's